But the technical issues in core are only part of what we are looking at. There are a number of other issues. There's governance issues. There's all kinds of things that we want to continue to evolve. So the technical stuff is only part of the roadmap. To talk about the second part of the roadmap is the TSC director, Myles Borins, who will join me now. Come on out to talk about that. Thank you.
Good job. Thanks. Hey everyone. How you doing today? Quick round of applause for James. He did a great job. And one thing that's not always obvious at these conferences, because we have a giant wall here, is how many people are actually in the back of house doing work, and all the way at the back of the room. So a quick round of applause for all the people doing like super hard work to make this happen. Okay, cool. I think I burnt enough time to make this work. So hi, hello. My name is Myles. I am gainfully employed by Google as a developer advocate working on Node.js and Google Cloud Platform. The opinions of the talk are my own. I always throw that in every slide so I can't get in trouble. But this isn't Google's future aesthetic. How is Node governed? So we have a board of directors that has 10 members. I recently joined as the TSC director. We have a technical steering committee that has 21 members, many of whom are in this room right now. We've got a group of collaborators, 111 different individuals, all with commit bits, all with the ability to land code onto Node, to run our CI, to help move Node forward. And we've also got a whole bunch of different working groups, from build to release to security. And as much as possible, the technical steering committee wants to see these working groups be able to be independent and move things forward on the platform. Primarily right now, the technical steering committee exists to deal with conflict and when we can't reach consensus. Which brings us to our technical governance model, consensus seeking. Consensus seeking is different than pure consensus. In consensus seeking, what we're trying to do is make sure that no one's objecting. It's not so much like we always need to vote. It's not so much like we always need to have a majority. We just need to make sure that there's no one actively objecting to things landing. How do we get to where we are today, though? And I think that's really important to look at how we got here to figure out where we need to go. And to do that, we need to go back to 2009, when Node.js was created by Ryan Dahl. And it was presented at JSConf EU. Some people in this room may have even been there or helped organize the conference that brought it up. And it was run using a BDFL model. How many people in the room have heard this expression BDFL before? A few, those of you. Okay, hold on. Keep your hands up if you like the BDFL model. I have a whole talk about BDFL. It's not today, but I want to just give you a heads up of what it is. BDFL is short for Benevolent Dictator for Life. It's the idea of a governance model where a single person is the definitive voice of where a project goes or what happens. It originally was coined as a title for Guido van Rossum in a 1995 email thread. It was very tongue-in-cheek. It was a title that was given to him, and it's kind of stuck around in the open source community as a way to describe projects that are, have one person calling the shots. Now, examples of this include Linus Torvald for the Linux project, Larry Wall for the Perl project, Mats for the Ruby project. And Node has actually in the past had 3 different BDFLs, and these are the first 3 waves of Node. So Node.js Wave 1 was Ryan Dahl, from the initial release until around v0.6. Node.js Wave 2 came with Isaac Schluter, who started doing releases around v0.6.5. Node.js Wave 3 was under the tutelage of TJ Fontaine, who started doing releases around v0.10.13. Through the first 3 waves of the project, Node was under the stewardship of Joyan. and the three main BDFLs who were overseeing it were employers of the organization. Node Wave 4 opened a new door to new possibilities with io.js. The project was forked in December of 2014, and it was released as v1.0.0 because a fork is a Semver major change. Versions 1 through 3 all were part of the io.js project, which then brought us to Node.js Wave 5, which is the project that a lot of us have contributed to. Node was put into a foundation in September 2015, and the projects were merged as v4, because just like forking a project is a Semver major change, healing a fork is also a Semver major change. And there was a lot of work to be done at this point, and a lot of the work that was done was reactive. There was a lot of technical stuff to fix, moving from the fast-paced model of the I/O project to a more stable and reliable release process of Node. We were determining how the LTS and release process would work. We were dealing with all sorts of long withstanding issues. We were in reactive mode. For the last 2 years, we've been trying to catch up and keep up with all the things that needed to be done for Node. Which brings us to today, and what I have dubbed Node Wave 6. As Node grows, it's changed. And we're at, in my opinion, another inflection point. While in the past, we had to be extremely reactive, it feels like now that we actually have the bandwidth to be more proactive. The technical steering committee is starting to have the bandwidth to think forward. No longer constantly reacting to problems in the buffer. Sorry, I'm laughing. But just the buffer constructor, for example, was something that the TSC was focused on for months. And as less and less of these problems are being brought up to the TSC, we can think forward to things like, how do we rectify ES modules? What is our native module story? How do we improve our build infrastructure? How do we make the project easier for people to contribute to? We need to get ahead of these issues. We need to identify stakeholders who can champion issues. And we also need to, in a way, find a way to prioritize where resources can be put by external organizations who want to engage in the project. It's important that we're able to empower our community, and being more proactive, not focusing on the day-to-day code stuff, is a way that we're going to be able to do that. Thank you very much. The future of Node is really exciting, and this is Jean-Luc Picard playing a flute.